We've changed her name to protect her identity. She says she was 14 when she met her groomer. He was 19 and a sixth form student at her school. Flattering exchanges over Instagram quickly led to a relationship. Maya thought she was in love, but then things changed. He told her he was in trouble and needed her help.
He said, "Would you be able to send me some pictures of yourself?" And I said, "What kind of pictures?" He said, "Like naked pictures." And I said, "No, I'm not like that. I don't want to do that kind of stuff." But then he kept saying stuff like, "Oh, you don't love me, do you? You don't like me. You're just a kid, this, that." And I wanted to prove to him how much I did like him, and I didn't want anything to happen to him.
She says things got worse. He wanted her to sleep with other men to pay off his debts.
I said, "No, I don't want to do that." He kept saying to me, "If you don't do that, I'm going to show those pictures that you sent to me to your parents. I'm going to show them around in school. You'll be hated. You won't be wanted anymore." So I went round to his after school one day, and he said it was just going to be this one guy, but it turned out to be these 3 different older men who I didn't know, and they were just giving me these pills. They were giving me vodka and alcohol. There was nothing I could do to stop it, because if I did, my parents would be in trouble, and if I didn't, he would be in trouble. He passed me around like a cigarette. When it was finished, he just blew me out and dumped me.
Every parent should know, grooming is people who target your children. It's such a serious problem across the country. In the UK, the numbers are staggering. It's just crazy.
This is no ordinary Sunday sermon at a Sikh temple. Mohan Singh is warning parents of the dangers of sexual grooming and exploitation.
The biggest fight that we have is when a child is abused, we want to take it to the police. Parents, they don't want it. So the child is silenced by the perpetrator. Again, the child is silenced by the parent.
He says it's a very serious issue in the Sikh community.
It's a massive problem because, I mean, we have a 24-hour helpline, Sikh Awareness Society, and we could get up to 2 or 3 serious cases a week. These are red alert cases where it affects 12, 13-year-old children who run away from home or are missing due to that abuse.
Virginity in the Asian community is sacred and sex before marriage is forbidden, and this is used by some perpetrators to prevent girls from reporting the abuse.
Honour is a very important aspect of the community. Now, when you tackle an Asian girl, most likely that will never be reported. So they know that they can abuse and use a girl, and it will never sort of go out into the community.
We're afraid to have our name taken through the mud. It's because we're afraid to look at other people in the eye and say, look, we need help.
We don't want the stigma, because it means that we're being soiled, right? And you're stigmatised by it, and nobody wants to tell anyone, nobody wants to publicise that that's what's happened to them.
You try to protect your honour. Once people know about it, you will feel more distressed because people will know.
But Sikh girls are not the only ones suffering. In 2013, a report by the Muslim Women's Network identified 35 Asian victims of grooming and sexual exploitation in the UK. The majority were Muslim, with 2/3 of British Pakistani heritage. They were aged between 13 and 14 years old. Blackmail was used with shame and honour to control the girls. 2/3 of the offenders were British Pakistani, while the remainder were Indian, Bangladeshi, Afghani and white. And 86% of the offenders were operating in gangs. The Muslim Women's Network study also concluded that Asian victims are being overlooked by frontline agencies, with little being done to reach out to them. And attitudes within the Asian communities are dismissive or disbelieving of child sexual exploitation.
This is about opportunity versus vulnerability. These perpetrators, they don't necessarily care about race or religion of the victim, and we've learned that so many young girls from Pakistani heritage or young Muslims are being groomed by these perpetrators.
In 2013, a group of men from Leicester were convicted of the sexual exploitation and abuse of a 16-year-old Sikh girl. But convictions like this are rare, and some community groups claim the authorities are failing Asian victims.
Very dismissive. I believe they can do a lot more with the resources they have and the manpower they have, but they're not focused on this, and there is an epidemic in the UK and they need to work harder on it. We have to work together and address this. If they're going to keep dismissive, the community, there's going to be reactions, there's going to be people taking things into their own hands.
If there is a sense within the community that in some way we're not understanding it, we don't appreciate it enough, then the next step has to be, well, then we need to get to that appreciation, don't we? And so I would ask, through our contacts that we already have, through the community groups, but specifically if we need to sit down and create something new, we need to sit down and understand this.
Maya says when her parents did find out, they sent her abroad.
I tried to commit suicide multiple times there. My parents didn't take me back. They abandoned me when I needed them the most. They didn't want me anymore. They didn't want to know what had happened. They didn't want to help me.
With the help of the Sikh Awareness Society, Maya has been rehomed, but she's never reported the abuse to the police.
Police came to my house. It would just create a big problem within my family, and I didn't want anything happening to my parents. I didn't want them to hate me because they were so respected in the Sikh community. Silenced by her abuser and her family. It's not known how many more girls like Maya are out there. Balvinder Sidhu for ITV News.